What time is it? It's 10:30. Well, it's 10:30 now. We're packing up. We haven't seen anything except for those 3 does that Mark pushed into the next county. Looks like it's gonna get a little getting used to having 2 people in a tree. So 3 deer this morning. That's it. So we're gonna pack up, check the camera, and then go get some gear and hang another stand set up to the east, well, southeast, up the hill in another spot that always gets torn up by the bucks with the rubs, and it's a pretty good pass-through area. So fingers crossed, hopefully something's on the camera and we can figure out what we're going to do this afternoon. Oh, I can't believe that's the only picture we got. Big 7-point. Pass through, but we may shoot a bear out of this tree stand. Although I don't know that they're big enough. Well, back in the stand this afternoon. Still PA opener. Got back up in the stand about 3:30ish. Had a doe about 80 yards behind us. Just walking. Checked the camera earlier. Had a nice 10-point in velvet. Only about a week ago, actually. First time we've seen that deer. So, hang tight till dark. See what happens. Hopefully we'll have some good footage to share. Oops. That's deceiving. There's lots of leaves. Okay. I see.
shooting range. This is our fourth hunt. It's been a little slow, to say the least. Hang tight, stay tuned.
Well, it's October 6th. We're back in the woods for the afternoon. Well, we're just about out of time here. And we might have got it done tonight on a doe. But unfortunately, hunting public land, there's people that can also hunt here other than us. So we had a guy roaming around with an orange ball cap on and a bow, vertical bow, just walking around, and we had a doe coming in behind us that started snorting and stomping, going crazy, and I couldn't quite figure out how she winded us because the wind was blowing across her, not towards her. And then we had another deer that was totally upwind of us start snorting. Couldn't figure out what the heck was going on. Didn't make any sense. They both took off, and then I saw this guy walking around. So we got the bad luck tonight, so we might give it another minute or two and see if maybe he's walking back out. Maybe he'll push something towards us. I don't know. But we'll probably back up here in a minute and figure out what we're doing tomorrow. Well, it's November 26th, opening day of gun season in Pennsylvania, and it's been a pretty active morning already. We're hunting a spot that we hit a few times during archery season. It's a spot where we got five nice, really nice deer on camera. And we're probably about, 80 yards from where he shot his 130 a couple years ago. So we've seen 3 does and a couple other deer far away. Ray saw a couple does and a small 6-pointer, which sounds like got shot right in front of him. Unfortunately, Mark had to run to work. Water plant lost power last night and their backup generator's not working, so he had to drive back to New York this morning when we went out into the woods, so hopefully he'll make it back for the afternoon. But we still got snow on the ground. It's low to mid-30s, and there's quite a bit of rain coming, so hopefully that'll get these deer moving. Plus, the Orange Army on state land here, so there's been quite a few gunshots already, some not that far away, so we saw a couple guys walking in this morning too, so fingers crossed, hopefully one of these big bucks walks by. We can only shoot a buck or a bear. No does. So we'll see. December 1st. We're in the woods in Pennsylvania. This is only our second day out here during rifle season. Well, it's about 10 o'clock. We actually saw a deer. We saw 2 deer. I think they were fawns. They were out about 100 yards. Just on the other side of this little slope. And it was real thick. We were only getting glimpses of them, and we really couldn't make a good shot. So we watched them for probably close to 45 minutes, and they stayed in this about 20-yard circle. Just kept browsing and browsing. And they ended up heading off back the way they came. So we didn't get a chance to shoot one. Not sure if they were mature deer either. So the glimpses we got, they had looked like short ears. So at least one of them looked like a fawn. Might have been a mature doe and a fawn. I think we're probably gonna pack up here in a few minutes and meander our way through the woods to a spot that Mark found earlier in the week. That was a main intersection of a couple trails, 2 main trails, I think. He's on his way. He got off of work at 7 o'clock down in Westchester, so he made the trip over. And he's probably going to park and make a soft push in our direction and see if we can kick anything up. Well, we're set up. We're going to sit tight. Hopefully it's going to be quick. If we see deer and they come by, it's going to be quick. He's going to try and move slow so that they're not running, they're just moving. I don't know if I got him on footage. That happened fast. Wow. Really nice. I believe a 6-pointer. He was just out to the edge of his ears, probably about 15, 16 inches wide, and had decent, really nice beams on him, decent dews, and he had brow tines, but he didn't quite look big enough. I think he was definitely a legal deer. Gotta be 3 points on one side out here, but he came right down the trail and stopped about 35 yards. And I don't know if he went, well, the wind is blowing in our face, so I'm not sure what happened, but he stopped and then ran on a different direction from where he came, but that was exciting nonetheless. He came flying down the hill, so we'll sit tight and maybe something else will come.
January 2nd. Out here in PA for the late archery flintlock season. Checked the trail cam on the way in. Had some pretty decent deer on that. Not every day, but probably every other day. Haven't been here about 3 weeks or so. Had 3 bucks on Christmas Day, basically right underneath the stand. for a while. One of them's really a decent buck. Hopefully these deer get up on their feet and come on through. Had a little bit of light snow out here, so it's a little easier to see. A little more than normal anyway. So stay tuned. Hopefully we get some good footage.
Well, it is January 12th, 2019. It is the last day of the late season archery flintlock in Pennsylvania. We are on state land that we've been hunting all year, but we decided to mix things up a little bit. Mark hunted here, I think last week, midweek, and saw some deer closer to the outskirts of the property. So we actually walked in and climbed up in an area that Mark suggested from his experience here. If you remember back in gun season, we stood on the ground while Mark made a push, and we ended up having an opportunity at a nice 6-pointer, mainframe 6 with no brow tines, that we decided to pass on. So we're about 200 yards or so up the ridge from where that was. It's an area that has had activity through it with nice trails for a long time, so hopefully we get lucky and we see some deer movement today. It's cold. It's probably around 10 degrees. Only supposed to be about 27 for the day, so hopefully the deer are moving. There's some big ravens, and we can punch a doe tag, maybe even our buck tag. So Mark is also hunting. He climbed up in a new area that he found the last time he was here, and Ray walked back to his usual spot. So hopefully one of us can get it done today. Fingers crossed. Stay tuned. You're watching on Through Dusk TV.
Last day. It's about 6 degrees. Probably the coldest day of the season to this point. And the last day, so got hand warmers and toe warmers and in every pocket in my boots. Just gonna try to stick it out. See if we can't catch something walking by. And hopefully we can get it on film, although that's not necessarily a priority today. Looking to fill some Pennsylvania tags. Haven't filled a tag yet this year, so, in PA. So stay tuned.
Well, it's about 10 o'clock. We just saw a group of 3 does. They came below us across the top of the ridge, and we're kind of feeding perpendicular to the trail that they usually are on. One doe
It's about 11:45. Warmed up to about 20 degrees. We saw a few more deer. I'm not sure if it was a different group or the same group plus a few, but I heard something and I looked, and 3 does came across the same trail line that we had seen the 3 earlier, and they moved off and went over the ridge and down, and behind them, about 100 yards or so, was a huge one-sided 4-pointer trailing them. Almost looked like he was pushing them. I don't know, maybe just me being hopeful, but big long beams on him. He had to have 18-inch beams, huge swooping beam with the like 6-inch G2, and that was it. And just on his left side, the right side was broken off. And he followed behind them and went over the ridge, and then another doe came trailing behind him, and she followed suit. So, and then we saw a tail in the thicket in front of us about 2 minutes after that. I never saw it, but I think we're gonna pack up here now, climb down, meet up with Mark and Ray at the diner, and come up with a plan for the afternoon. Stay tuned. We're settled back in the woods for the afternoon. We had a pretty active morning. We saw a few different groups of deer, a couple small bucks. So we actually decided to set up in a slightly different spot than we were this morning. We're a little over 100 yards over, probably, on a different trail that they were using this morning, and it turns out this is the trail that Mark was hunting up above earlier last week, and has been seeing deer on this trail. So we thought this was the safe bet for tonight. This is our last chance, last couple hours of daylight left, and we'll be done until the fall. So hopefully, fingers crossed, we can get some deer movement through here and get a shot at a mature doe or a mature buck.